Hello and welcome to Green Diamond Boxing. I'm here with legendary professional boxing coach Ronnie Shields. How are you today?
I'm doing great.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
I'm sure you've got
Anytime.
loads of things to be doing in this lovely hotel that we're in. So I tried to ask you, just starting from the beginning, you were born in Texas
Yes.
in the late 50s.
Yes.
What was it like growing up in Texas around that time?
It was a lot of fun. You know, my father was really into football, you know, American football, and I really wanted to be a football player.
Okay.
Yeah, and so, but it was a lot of fun. You know, I had a lot of friends, and we, just played like ordinary kids.
So it was just playing football mainly.
Playing football, that's what I wanted to be, a football
Yeah.
player. Until 13 years old,
Okay.
I went out for the football team, and I made the football team. But then about 2 weeks later, they closed our school down and made it a elementary school,
Right.
and I had to go to a middle school, and they had to try out all over again. I didn't want to do it, and then I ran into a friend of mine who was boxing, and I started boxing.
So it was your friend that got you into it?
Yes.
Before that, were you watching it quite regularly? Was your dad or anyone else into boxing?
Oh yeah, my dad always watched boxing.
Yeah.
But mostly my father was a big football fan. Though.
Okay. What's your earliest memory of either watching a boxing match or listening to it on the radio or boxing coming into your life? Your
Well,
earliest memory?
we used to watch Muhammad Ali a lot.
Okay.
So, my father loved Muhammad Ali. So whenever he fought on television, we was right there.
Wow, nice. And would you say that is Muhammad Ali your greatest of all time, or do you have somebody else?
No, I really liked Muhammad Ali a lot, but I like George Foreman also.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. You obviously had your own professional boxing career. You did quite well in the amateurs as well, picking up some championships.
Yeah.
The Golden Gloves
The
and
Golden
the
Gloves, right.
National Junior Olympics as
Yep.
well. So you did really well in that. You had your professional career, 26-6.
Yep.
I think it was. Looking back at your career, whether it's your amateur or your professional, what's a highlight of your career that you would look back at and smile about?
For me, as an amateur, when I won the 3 national Golden Gloves,
Yeah.
that was a big feat for me. Growing up, because a lot of my friends was boxing at the time, and nobody has never won the nationals. They went, but they never won.
Yeah.
And for me to go and to win it my very first time, and I won it 3 times in a row. So it was great for me to win the nationals. And back at those days, Tommy Hearns was there, and Aaron Pryor was there. There was so many good fighters that you hear about today.
Yeah.
And so, but just being there, being able to compete, guys, I tell them I'm from Texas, but they say, what part of Texas, and I say, oh, a little small town you never heard of before, and there was, a lot of them didn't think probably that I could fight, and then I think I surprised a lot of them
Right.
because I won a national 3 times.
Yeah,
So-
amazing. You must have learned a lot in your career as well, whether it was amateurs or professionals. What is one learning that you've taken from your career that you're now instilling in your fighters that you train?
That you get out of it what you put into it, and that's something I've been taught from the very beginning.
Yeah,
If you don't put nothing in, you're not getting nothing out.
yeah.
So you have to put in the work. You have to dedicate yourself if you're going to be in this sport, and nobody's going to give you anything.
Yeah,
You have to earn it.
yeah.
And that's what I tell my guys every day.
Absolutely. You've trained some amazing fighters. Obviously, you trained Mike Tyson. You trained the Charlo twins as
Yeah.
well. Looking at the fighters who have become world champions, what are the qualities or characteristics that they contain that okay, that's the world champion?
Well, it's funny that, they all have to have the same thing. And it's like when you are training a guy and you're trying to explain certain things to them. It's funny how the ones that get it become world champions.
Right.
The ones that didn't never became a world champion. They might have fought for the world title, but they never won it. And so, and I try to explain to everybody that I work with, I show them different things, and I say, see this guy, he got it. You see where he's at now, or see what he's done, and how he got there. So you have to basically, in your own way, because everybody's style is different, but in your own way, you have to put it together, and you'll see how everything works.
Right.
And like I say, some get it, some don't.
So is it like teachability then? Is
Yes.
That the quality that fighters, if they have that, then they can get to world.
Exactly.
Anything else? Like there must be something else that they like, sort of qualities that they show when they, you're training them, and they've become world champions. But it's only because obviously they've listened, they've taken it on board, but dedication, the motivation, the
Yes.
time, the
Well, another thing I tell my guys all the time is that don't let me be the only one watching tape, studying your opponent.
yeah,
And I tell them, you have to be in there. You may see something that I don't see because you're in there with them, and, sometimes what I do is I get them in the gym and I say, tomorrow I'm going to ask you a question.
okay,
So, and then I'll go and watch tape, and then I can tell if they watch tape or not because when I ask that question to them, if they can answer it, then I know they studied,
right, yeah,
So, look, boxing it takes a lot.
yeah,
It's a lot of hard work, and I tell them all the time, don't let me be the only one studying.
yeah,
You got to study too because you may see something in there that I missed. I'm not perfect. So let me know, what's going on.
yeah.
If you see it, then take it for whatever it is. And, you're in there. You have to understand you got to be the one that do it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not just about what you do in the gym, is it? It's
No,
about what you do
no.
outside of the gym as well, right?
Absolutely. That's very important outside of the gym.
Yeah,
Because there's so many bad influences out there, and I have guys that say, hey man, my friends, they want to do this, they want to do that. And I said, well, do you think you're supposed to be doing that? You can't, you have to make up your mind. If this is your job, then are you going to go on their job and do whatever? No, that you can't go on their job, but they're on your job. This is your time, so you have to use it to your full advantage. Don't let no one discourage you or tempt you to do things that you're not supposed to be doing.
yeah. This is not a 9-to-5 job, is it?
It's not.
It's a 24/7
It's a
job.
24/7 job. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's 24/7 regardless
So once
of
you
what
make that
nobody's.
commitment, you're making that commitment for, not partying, not drinking, not all of that kind of
Absolutely.
other stuff as well, aren't you? You're kind of
Oh yes, absolutely.
signing up to a lot more than just
Yeah.
doing the fight.
And that's what makes champions champions.
Yeah.
I've never seen a champion that goes out every night, that parties all the time, and then don't have time to train.
Yeah.
That's not what makes a champion.
If somebody argued to say, okay, I go to my training, I do that, I do everything when I'm leading up to a fight, but then after my fight, I might go for a drink, I might go and party. What would you say to that? No?
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. If you want to be champion,
Yeah.
you have to live that life.
Right.
Not to say you can't lose, but still you can come back. You can come back from it. But it's been proven over and over again that you have certain guys that have the ability, and it's natural ability to, okay, you'll see that guy out, and say, well, this guy's world champion, he's out partying, he's doing this, he's doing that. Yeah, but how long was that gonna last? You make up your own time how long you want to be a champion.
Yeah.
So if you want to continue to work hard, then you have to do that. Don't lose to somebody because they outworked you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's really good, important
Absolutely.
lesson. So obviously you trained Mike Tyson for the 2002 fight that he did against Lennox Lewis,
yes.
which he then lost by knockout. What do you think went wrong for Mike in that fight? Looking back, it was over 20 years ago now.
Yeah. But, at that time, Mike was, he was up in age, and, he wanted to give it one last try. So when I got the call, and I went, and he had a lot of people around him, but I told him, I say, me and you need to talk. Nobody else around. So we did. And we ended up talking for about 6 hours, just him and I. And I made him tell me why he thought this was a great opportunity for him to come back to fight such a great guy like Lennox Lewis. And I mean, he gave me straight answers, and he told me the reason why he wanted to do this. And I really felt that he could do it
Right.
because, he convinced me that, okay, this is what I want. I'm through partying, I'm through with this, I'm through, I'm serious about this,
Yeah.
And he even showed it in the gym.
Wow.
So, and I really, really felt that he had opportunity. But, Lennox Lewis had other ideas.
So in the training camp, everything was going well. You kind of felt like he was ready from what you saw.
Oh, without a doubt. Everything was going good. We had great sparring partners. I mean, he trained hard, but at some point, Father Time just, you can't be Father Time.
No, absolutely. But
so-
obviously that must have had a more of an impact on him because I think Lennox was around that same age as Mike when they fought. But it obviously had more of an impact on Mike because of the other things he may have been doing outside of the gym, as we spoke
there you
about.
go. That's it.
So-
But yeah, Lennox, they're around the same age, but
Yeah,
Mike's body was much older.
yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. So talking about loss, we do see a lot of the time the effect that losing a fight has on the fighter. What we don't see so much is the effect that the loss has on the trainer, and that must affect you guys just as much, if not more. What is the feeling like when one of your fighters loses in the ring?
It's first thing I do is I go back and I think about everything that we did, and sometimes it's like you have to accept the fact that the other guy was just better,
Yeah.
And it happens in this sport, Sometimes you could do everything in the world to win, but the other guy is just better,
Yeah.
And we have to accept that. Sometimes it's hard to accept, and sometimes you can't believe it.
Yeah.
But in reality, this is a huge world, and everybody wants the same thing.
Yeah.
And maybe this guy wanted it a little bit more that night, but sometimes the other guy is just better. And you have to accept that fact.
Yeah.
It's hard to digest, but you have to accept it.
Yeah. You also trained the Charlo brothers at the
Yeah.
same time for some
Yes.
time. How was that then, training twins at the same time? Any confusions going on there, or was it all right?
No. It was no confusion whatsoever. Once you be around them, you really can tell
Right.
the difference between who is who. But, they were very talented kids,
Yeah.
and they both became world champions, At the time they became world champions, though, I didn't have Jamel.
Yeah.
I had only Jamal
Jamal.
at that time. And, and he's still undefeated today.
Yeah.
I didn't train him for his last fight, but right before I came to Saudi, he called me up and he wants to come back.
Oh, does he?
So-
Oh, amazing.
I told him we'll talk when I get back home.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's
So
nice.
we'll see if it happens.
Talking about fighters that like leaving trainers, so we always get fighters that come for a while, then they leave, they go to another trainer. And that's fine, that's what you expect. But even though you do expect that that's going to happen, it must have an impact on you as a trainer and maybe on the rest of the fighters in the gym as well. What's the kind of impact that that has?
Well, here's the thing. I can't speak for nobody else, but for myself, when something like that happens, for me, people say, well, why aren't you worried? Because I realize I've been in this sport my whole life, basically. And I take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
If a guy don't want to train with me no more, you're free to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
I can't force someone to do something they don't want to do. But it's so funny that when they want to leave, right, it's okay. But when I want to leave,
Yeah.
they have a problem with it.
Yeah.
And I've had that happen a few times when I had guys say, okay, I'm gonna move on to somebody else. Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
But when I say I want to move on,
Yeah.
they have a problem with it.
Yeah.
That's the strangest thing that happens in the sport. But for me, I never worry about it. Hey, if you want to do something different, by all means, do it.
Do it, yeah.
But when I want to do something different, I'm going to do it myself. So
No,
that's
you're-
the way I am.
Absolutely, and it should be. It should be like the same for both parties, really, shouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
When you bring somebody on to your camp and into your gym, is there like a period of at the beginning you have a conversation about expectations, about if you want to leave, then this is how I want you to inform me. Is there something like that that happens at the beginning for you?
I never talk about wanting to leave, but I do talk about my expectations
Yeah.
of what I expect from everybody that I train. The number one thing is respect me.
Yeah.
Don't disrespect me because I would throw you out my gym. And I have thrown people out my gym because, not only it's not only disrespectful to me, but to everybody else that's in the gym.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're not going to be respectful to everybody in the gym, then I don't need you. I don't care how much money you're making.
Yeah.
You got to get out, because we're not going to have that in my gym.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that, But I have to say that, I've really never had that problem.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
The only problem I've ever had probably was when somebody else come into my gym and they try to disrespect one of the fighters or whatever.
Right.
I've had to throw them out the gym, But as far as my guys are concerned, the very first day they come, we have an understanding of, how to treat yourself and other people in the gym.
Yeah.
If you can't do that, then you have to go.
Yeah.
And that's the way it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So talking about where we are and why we're here, so we're in Saudi Arabia, in Riyadh.
Yeah.
We're here, obviously you've got your fighter here, Vito Mielnicki. He's 21-1, 23-year-old.
Yep.
Talk to me about his strengths, his boxing style. What do we expect to see from him?
You're going to see a young man that's very dedicated to his sport. This kid, he eats, lives boxing.
Right.
This is what he does. And, since I've been with him, he's been such a pleasure to work with. And I just wish all of my guys could be like this kid. I do. I really wish that. And he's just, he's just a pleasure to work with.
Yeah.
He comes in the gym, he's very respectful. He gets along with everybody in the gym. He works hard, and he even helps other guys in the gym. When he sees something like, hey man, you need to do more conditioning, you need to do this, you need to do that, then they get together with them and they go and they do that. But he's a kid that, he's very respectful, like I said, but he wants to be great. And you see it,
Yeah.
you feel it, and I embrace that.
Yeah.
And man, I just feel so good about being with this kid, by training him, everything. We have great talks, we study film together,
Okay.
we do it all, and I just wish I could do that with everybody,
Yeah.
and it's just a pleasure to work with this kid, and and I just feel so good about everything that's for this camp. Everything went great. We had a great camp, and I really feel good about this fight. And he's one of the kids that he he, he pays attention to everything that I say, and he tries everything I tell him to try. And I just look forward to his fights.
So you're seeing the qualities of a world champion in him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He has all the qualities in the world. And, I know on Saturday night, he's going to show it.
Brilliant. So he's fighting Sam Moma, who's
Yes.
21-0. Do you see that fight going the distance, or do you think that there might
Really
be
and
a
truly,
draw?
I don't see the fight going the distance.
Right.
I really think Vito can knock him out. But, when you have a game plan, and it's going right, and then something start happening, then you start making adjustments.
Right.
And Vito is really good at making adjustments. So that's what I really love about him. But I just feel so good about this. Whether we knock this guy out or just beat him on the decision, it doesn't matter
Yeah.
because we train for the whole 10 rounds. We didn't train for 3 and 4 rounds.
Yeah.
We train to go the distance,
Yeah.
And long as Vito is doing what he's supposed to do, I feel comfortable that he's going to win.
Brilliant. So with the few of the other fights that we've got then, in terms of what you think is going to happen, your predictions. So we've got Bam Rodriguez fighting Fernando Martinez. Who do you think's going to...
Nobody's going to beat Bam. Nobody. I don't care who it is. This kid, he's one of my top 3 pound-for-pound fighters in the world.
Yeah.
Bam is really that good, and I just don't see anyone standing up to him. I just think that Bam is, he's everything that he says he is. And he proves it every fight.
Yeah.
So, and I don't see it being no different.
And he's so young, and I love how calm he is.
Yes.
So calm, cool, and collected, just like chilling, and nothing's really happening.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
a huge fight on a
Oh,
huge
yeah.
card, but he's so relaxed.
Yes.
And I really admire that because, me being the age I am, I'm like, there's no way I feel like a bag of nerves.
Yes, yes. And for him to be so young,
Yeah.
he's just so mature,
100%.
And you could see that he takes boxing seriously.
Yeah.
You could see it. And like I say, for me, he's top 3 pound for pound best fighter in the world.
Amazing. Abdullah Mason, Sam Noakes.
This is going to be a good fight,
Yeah.
But I really love Abdullah Mason.
Yeah.
This kid, he's young, but he's strong, and he's determined. And just seeing him and just, speaking to him, you can see he is so confident.
Yeah.
And that's what young fighters are supposed to be like.
Yeah.
But this kid is so talented. I don't see nobody beating him right now.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. They're both really, really good, aren't
Yes, they are.
they? Yeah. So it'll be a difficult
Yeah,
fight.
it could be a difficult fight
Yeah.
for both of them. But, I think Mason, for me, has the edge.
Yeah. And then we've got Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr.
I really, really like Brian Norman Jr. in this fight. I think Haney, I keep hearing Haney say, oh, he fought nobody. You don't get to be a world champion by fighting
Yeah.
nobody.
Yeah.
At some point, you have to say, okay, they trying to convince themselves that, that this kid is inexperienced. But he's not. He has a lot of experience, a lot of amateur experience also. And look, if Haney feels that way, then let him stand up and fight. But we're not going to see that. Haney's
Surely
going
if
to.
you think like that, you might fall into complacency as well if you think that the other person
Oh,
has
absolutely.
experience as you, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But trust me, Haney is going to run. He's not going to stand up to Brian Norman. He's going to move. But it's up to Norman to cut the ring, to make him fight in certain spots.
Yeah.
So, and then he can see what Brian Norman really has. So, but this is going to be a very interesting fight.
Absolutely.
I think Haney is the favorite right now, and I don't see it in my eyes.
Okay.
but I really think Norman is going to win.
Wow. And then obviously David Benavidez and our very own Anthony Yarde from London.
Yeah. So,
What's Anthony's chances, do you think?
you
in
know,
this?
look, Yard is probably the stronger fighter,
Yeah.
but Benavidez, to me, he's my other top 3 pound for pound
Wow.
best
Okay.
fighters in the world.
Wow.
You know, he's not afraid to punch.
Yeah.
You know, and he throws multiple punches at a time.
Yeah.
That, you know, I just had one of my guys to fight him, David Morrell, and you know, and he's so difficult to fight. You know, you can have all the power in the world,
Yeah.
but when you got so many punches coming at you at one time, you know, and he's always in shape, so you have to be ready for that for 12 rounds.
Yeah.
So, and I just think Benavidez could be too busy and too strong for Yard.
What do you think Yarde would need to do?
Get lucky with one punch.
Okay. Find that
Because
one punch,
Benavidez is throwing 20 punches at a time, and Yard one punch at a time.
Yeah.
He has to hope that one punch is enough, and I don't think so. Because Benavidez take a good punch.
Yeah. Yeah. That's going to be a difficult one as well.
That's gonna be hard.
Ronnie, are you still in touch with Mike? You still got a good relationship with Mike Tyson?
Not really.
Don't
Not
really
really.
speak too much.
When we see each other, we acknowledge and
Yeah.
we talk a little bit, but not much. I'm more with the Holyfield. We
Okay.
always have conversations. Holyfield's a very religious person. He send me Bible stuff every
Does
day.
he? Every day?
Every day. I got it this morning,
Oh,
so
wow.
he sends it to me every day.
What, like
and-
verses from the Bible?
Yes.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yes, every day. I get it every day. You know, and I reply back to him. And he always reply, you know, you're welcome, you know. So, and then I saw Evander, actually it was him and Mike. They was doing this thing in Texas, in
Okay.
Houston. And I didn't get a chance to talk to Mike, but I did with Evander. And, you know, we took pictures and stuff like that. And I brought 2 of my heavyweights that I trained with me so they could meet
Amazing.
Evander, and you know, and he spoke with them for a while, and
Oh, that's so
you know,
nice.
they got advice from him and stuff like that. You know, it was really great.
That's so nice.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
love that he sends you verses
Oh,
from
yeah.
the Bible. So
Every-
you're quite into faith as well then? Does that help
Yeah,
you?
absolutely,
Yeah?
absolutely, and yeah, but yeah, every day I get them. Like I say, I get them every morning. So I got them this morning.
That's
and
really sweet.
I replied back to
Yeah.
him. You know, yeah,
Oh, I love that. That's
Yeah.
so nice.
absolutely.
What did you take of Mike Tyson fighting Jake Paul?
Well, I don't know. To me, it didn't look real to me. You know, because just knowing Mike and how Mike is, you know, that just wasn't Mike there.
Yeah.
You know, I think, I don't know. But I'm looking forward to seeing what Joshua is going to do
Yeah?
with Jake Paul. Yeah. Yeah.
They're going to do it properly. That's what they're saying.
Well, the thing is that they're putting so many rules
Yeah.
that you have to stick by.
Okay.
You know, especially number one with his weight. You know, he has to be, 245, I believe. He can't be no heavier than that. And I don't know what he has to, I don't know how much heavier he can get after the weigh-ins. Maybe another 10 pounds they'll give him. He probably can't be no more than 255,
Yeah.
maybe. You know, stipulations. Why put stipulations in heavyweight boxing?
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense to me.
No.
But
Dangerous for Jake, right?
it's dangerous for Joshua too because
Yeah.
of the weight. You know, I mean, they heavyweight. They should be able to weigh whatever they want to weigh.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but when you put stipulations in it, it makes it not legitimate.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah,
not
true.
fair. You know, not only for the fighters but for the fans. You know, the fans want to see you at your best.
Yeah.
If we don't pay to see you
Yeah.
at something that you're not 100%. When we watch fights, we want to fight fighters that's 100%.
100%, yeah.
You know, if you go pay your money, that's what you want to see. I don't want to see a guy at 30% or 40%.
Yeah.
I want to see him at his best.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm paying for. Now you telling him that he can't weigh but a certain amount going into the fight? How can he be at his best?
Yeah.
So why would I pay for it?
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay for it because, people got to get wise and smart and figure, say, hey, why does this guy have stipulations in certain things? And it's not fair. He can't be 100%.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch him at 40% or 50%.
Absolutely.
I want to watch him at 100%. And you should want to fight him at 100% if you want to be a legitimate fighter.
Yeah. It's kind of what we saw with the Eubank Ben.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing.
It was hard
But-
to watch, if I'm honest.
It's hard to watch, but at the same time, one guy is smaller than the other. But still, if you want to fight him, then you got to fight him at his best. You can't fight him, at a 30 or 40% rate. You want him to be 100%. 'Cause what did you beat? You didn't beat a 100% guy. You beat a guy at 30 or 40%. So how can you call yourself, hey, I won this fight, I'm this and that? No, but you didn't fight him at,
Yeah.
don't take the fight,
That's so true.
People are abusing the sport of boxing for money.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah. When you see the way the world of boxing is now, obviously you've seen it for many, many years. Does it make you feel a bit disheartened as to the way things are going a bit
Yes,
now?
because the credibility of boxing is going down.
Yeah.
It is. It's people aren't going to take this sport serious. We're looking like MMA and UFC. That's what we're looking like now. Because you got outsiders coming in changing the rules. That's not right. We're fighters. We're boxers. This is our sport. And all of a sudden, we got YouTubers coming in changing everything.
Yeah.
For the money, and everybody wants to make money. That's how we make our living. But at the same time, what about the integrity of the sport that you say you love?
Yeah.
You're using boxing for money, and it's not fair. It's not right.
Yeah. Ronnie, it's been so amazing catching up with you. I've learned so much just speaking to you just for a little while here. So thank you so much for your time, and I hope to catch up with you again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.